We did not feel good a big part of the month of December. Now, I know you probably couldn't tell it from our previous post. We were our usual perky, entertaining, and charming selves, but we weren't feeling our best. We were not 100%.
No, it's absolutely true.
Yeah. And then Christmas comes. And also, on top of the fact that we didn't feel good, I was a bit of an emotional basket case for about a week. I'll be honest, I was. The holidays sometimes just make me feel all the feelings, and I was emotional and crying at the drop of a hat. I was just a freaking mess. Not that anyone needs to know, but I'll be honest, I am a woman, and I don't think I'm crazy. We talked a little about the hot, crazy matrix, and
Yeah, all women are at least a 4 crazy.
I'm probably at least a 4. But on my emotional week, when I'm emotional, I'm probably more like a 5 or a 6. But I don't think I get much worse than that. Do you?
Nah, you're pretty good, man.
Thank you.
You're usually very stable. The holidays were a little rough on you.
Oh, my God.
You were dealing with some emotional baggage during the holidays, and
I always am.
Dealing with a lot of family, and nothing ever goes quite the way you expect.
I have this idea about what I think a good Christmas for my kids should look like, I think. And it's not necessarily maybe the idea that my kids have. One thing I've learned, I think a part of the problem with our Christmases and has really been, my fault. It's about my expectations of wanting to give everybody this idea of what I think is the perfect holiday. And then when things don't go right, or one of the kids isn't happy, or it doesn't come together the way that I want it to, I get really stressed out. And I've learned, and when you think about it, you look back even to remember the year Malik got COVID, back before they had the vaccine, and I was completely freaked out about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm like, oh my God, you can't come. Because that was before they had the vaccine. People were still dying. People were dying from COVID, and I was so irrationally upset, even with him, because I'm like, I can't believe you weren't more careful. You're going to ruin our Christmas. That was my thought.
It's your fault you got sick.
Well, it probably was, honestly. But I'm just saying that's my mentality. I've had these thoughts. I remember one time, even before we were together, when same thing, somebody might have been Joe, it might have been my husband at the time, got the stomach flu, and that was my thought. Not, oh my gosh, you're sick as shit. It's like, oh my God, I have worked my ass off, and I look forward to all of us being together so much, and this can't ruin our Christmas. That was my thought. I don't care if everyone's risking the stomach flu. We have to. You stay upstairs.
It's like, you bastard, you got sick.
It was kind of, yeah. I mean, this year I was a little more chilled out in that way. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, you were, and that's good.
I was more chilled out. And then I started to get sick, and that probably didn't, that probably made me a little more mellow. I don't know, because I didn't have the energy to be bitchy. My kids, they even have that little thing, that little meme where it has my mom when she's getting ready for company, and it's like, it's like the dinosaur all screaming, and then it's like
a dragon.
Yeah, and then it's like my mom when people get here, it's so good to see you. So I haven't.
So wonderful.
I haven't been like that so much the last couple of years.
You've got a history of it, though.
I do. I do have a history of it. Oh, this is another thing. This is an example of me. I'm just being honest, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit this. One of our kids brought over these really delicious, awesome homemade cinnamon rolls. They were delicious.
Oh, yeah.
They were awesome.
They were dynamite.
They were. Bless their heart, and tons of them. And I mean, who doesn't love to start out the morning with homemade cinnamon rolls? And so they're baking them, put the icing on, and then in my mind, I have this idea that I'm making a breakfast casserole and I'm making cheese grits, and we're going to have breakfast after we opened our presents. And they cooked the cinnamon rolls and started giving them to people, and I'm like, oh no, we're not eating yet. And then I thought, you know what an uptight bitch you are. It is not a big deal. Everybody wants to have cinnamon rolls with their coffee. We can eat cinnamon rolls while we're opening presents. It doesn't have to be a certain way. So I did apologize too, because I wasn't bitchy about it, but I did thought, I thought, well, that's a little uptight. I don't mean to be.
And it turned out fantastic.
Oh yeah, actually it was. Yeah, it turned out fine. And then we got sick with COVID, we think.
Yeah, it turned into a super spreader Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I think about half the people here wound up sick.
By about Christmas
afterwards.
afternoon, I felt absolutely horrible. You didn't really feel bad for a day or two after, but we were sick for a good week. So my whole point of all of that stuff I was talking about was that I'm starting to understand more realistically and kind of how my expectations, not just during the holidays, that expectations can ruin good things sometimes.
It's true. Expectations expectations can be a problem because, the higher your expectations are, the deeper disappointment you have when things don't work out quite like what you were expecting.
Yeah,
And then there's another thing about expectations that can be problematic too, is when you're not sharing those expectations with the other people,
that's true.
they have no idea what you're wanting. And that was kind of an example of the cinnamon rolls, right? They got them done, they served them immediately. They had no idea that your expectation was that would all come out as a
And
as a table.
the honestly the beautiful thing, and I hope I doubt they'll see this because our kids don't watch our stuff. I'll be honest,
No,
but
hell
they
no.
don't. But now I'm like, what I hope is that the cinnamon rolls become a new tradition because everyone loved that, and I
Well,
love the
they
idea.
were really good.
I've come up with new. I've a shift. I have a shift. I
A
think
shift in your thinking.
I think a laid back Christmas will make everyone happier. I'm really going to try hard. I
I'm going
am.
to save this recording and
Yeah.
play it back to you right before next
I'm
Christmas.
serious. I know. Well, no, it's true. I think a laid back Christmas, especially for the kids, will make everyone a little more chilled out. And I hate to think that my wanting to do something good has caused them stress, any of them. So I really will try to do better. I wish they would see that. Maybe they would appreciate it. But
That could be.
the other thing though about that I just want to like touch on is I get now too, and I think we could do a whole show about like blended families and that, where we are in that with the idea of being one family is not necessarily where they are, and blending families
I
is
agree,
is
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
We love all our kids and I have this idea that I want them to hang out. I don't expect them to hang out all the time or anything like that, but at least be comfortable around each other when they're all here.
Yeah, and I think the reality is for us, having gotten remarried to each other so late in life, in our 50s, our children are all adults. It's unrealistic to expect them to come together and meld like you might be able to get young children to.
Right. And I don't necessarily have that expectations. And honestly, they do pretty well. One thing I do just want to make clear is in the big picture, I do think our kids have been extremely gracious about, they've been happy that we found each other. They've been happy that we're together. I have not felt, it hasn't been difficult in that way. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
Yeah, all of them. So I don't think that's been an issue. But I think really kind of being aware of the fact that our pool is a good example, honey. Like, we decided to get a pool. And what did we say? What was my selling point in getting the pool?
We thought that was going to attract the kids to want to come hang out with
I said,
us.
I just have this idea. Again, expectations. I have this idea that the kids will come over on Sunday and bring the grandkids, or we'll cook out and swim together and, cook burgers, and they'll come over. How many times have they come over to swim in the pool?
It's happened, but it's not very often at all.
I don't think they've ever all come at the same time.
No, not everybody at the same
I
time.
know. And it just does. It's very rare. Very rare. None of them are really that into swimming.
Well, the girls actually live in apartment complexes where they have their own pools.
Yeah, now they do. Yeah, they have access to a pool without having to deal with us.
Yeah.
And then it's just it never happens. So again, all right. So expectations are a no-win proposition for the most part. Everybody put those out of your head. Those are my takeaways from the holidays and my advice for the New Year's. All right.
And once again, you give great advice.
I have been told that, but thank you for reminding everyone. You're going to tell everybody to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it.
If you like the show, click subscribe and hit the bell button or whatever the hell it looks like for the notifications. It means a lot to us, man. We're trying to build our subscriber base. Thanks a lot.